All right. Good evening, folks. Tim Davis here, coming to you guys with another weekend market review. Today is Sunday, June the 5th, 2022. The time is now now 9:43 p.m. And I want to start by taking a look at the futures market. We'll take a look at the futures market tonight since it's already running. We'll be looking at the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, Russell, and the S&P. Take a look at oil, and we'll take a look at gold. Just to get an overall sense of where market direction is heading. And we'll take a look at the VIX as well. So with this, just to get started, I'm going to be paying attention to the daily chart for right now. Reason being because we already know that the overall market is still in a longer-term bear market. And I want to show you guys what price action is doing. So when markets go up and markets go down, just keep in mind the markets don't go up in a straight line. They don't go down in a straight line. There's normally some type of zigzag motion, and they go up to certain levels. Levels of resistance if they're on the way down and travel back down, and vice versa. When you're looking for markets that are going up, you're looking for levels of support that are being held, and also you can see levels of support that are being held and on the way down as well. Want to highlight something specific right now and point out how since we started this downtrend earlier this year. This is Dow Jones Futures. We've been in this channel. You see I got this channel mark. We got the upper trend line of the channel and the lower trend line of the channel. And every time we get to the top, it's like we would come down, and then we'll snake back up. Then we'll come down again and snake back up. And we've been on this pattern now for quite a bit. Okay. Sometimes we stay at the top a little bit longer, sometimes we don't. But this overall pattern has been staying in place for quite a while. And normally we get back to this area, to this trend line here, we either consolidate and come back down, or we hit it very quickly and come back down. My guess right now, I think we're going to be heading back down very, very soon. We're still in an overall downtrend. So on these overall downtrends, as we're trending downward, we start to create lower lows along the way. So each one of these, this low is a little bit lower than this one. This one is a little bit lower than this one. So as we're going along, we're creating these lower lows and lower highs, which signifies that we are still in an overall downtrend. All right. So with that said, where are we now? Again, we are back at the top of the channel. Okay, with price action and the full stochastic is already in overbought territory. Price action and win percentage already in overbought territory. So what could possibly happen here? Could we break through resistance and continue to go higher? That's always a possibility. Have not really done it since all year. So this trend channel has been in effect for a while. Another way to look at this, where price action has been kind of muted. This blue line I got here, that is my 50-day moving average. Since we fell below that 50-day moving average, it's been using it as an area, a strong area of resistance as well. On the way back up, we hit it here. Bumped them up just a little bit, but that's pretty much muted. But we hit it here and came right back down. Hit it here, came up just a little bit, but pretty much still hugged that 50-day until we decided to come back down here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So we decided to come back down here. Then we went back up just a little bit, got rejected right at the 50-day, came back down here. Went up a little bit, didn't make it above the 50-day, came back down here. Now we're right back at the 50-day. And look what we're doing at the 50-day and just moving sideways. But I believe that the sideways action is about to end soon. And this is a daily chart we're looking at too, folks. I think the sideways action is about to end soon, and we'll probably be heading right back down to the bottom of this channel. So that is our NASDAQ, just breaking it down, as making it as simple as possible so you understand that we're still in an overall downtrend. just because we had a nice little rally, as you can see here, for a couple days. Nice little rally here, back up to the top of trend. And so that rally lasts for about a week or so. And that's what our daily chart looks like in the Dow Jones futures. Now let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures. Same scenario. We are back to the top of the trend level, but this is a little bit different because we didn't make it all the way back up to the upper trend line, but we made it right to the 50-day moving average. And it looks like it's being stalled there. See how right back at the 50-day and price is like hitting it like it's hitting its head up against the ceiling. And price is trying to find direction. My guess is that it probably is going to fail right here at the 50-day. So tomorrow will be very interesting to see what price action does. But it looks like it's a very strong possibility it could fail at this 50-day and start to come back down in the very, very near future. Okay, so that is our NASDAQ futures. Again, price action is definitely running into some resistance. Load it up even further. So we see we're actually running into that resistance level right at that 50-day moving average. So the question is, on this week, do price action bust right through the 50-day and continue to go higher and make new highs? I doubt that very seriously. We could either continue to go lower from here, or we can even go just a little bit higher and come right back down. But I don't think we're going much higher if we do decide to go higher. I think this channel is going to stay in effect for a minute. It's NASDAQ futures. Take a look at our S&P. You're going to see the same type of setup in the S&P. Price action again, running into resistance. Where at on this one? Precisely right at that 50-day moving average as well here. And everything else looks the same. So tomorrow's going to be, this week is going to be a key. It's going to be very interesting for our, very key week and very interesting for our overall markets. Will they find a way to break out above some of these levels of resistance? Or will they stop where they're at, stop in their tracks, and continue and start to trend downward? My guess is that they'll start to trend down, but we have to wait and see what happens. Okay. And the Russell, same scenario. They're all like right back at that 50-day. So Russell right back at his 50-day. And if you look in history, we see where Russell pretty much struggled with that 50-day right here, getting above it just a little bit, hitting the trend line and coming right back down. Coming right back down. Hit it here, struggle. Hit it here, struggle, and eventually come right back down. So we could be looking for the same possible outcome as we are now back towards the top of that particular channel. Okay, what about Vix Features? Let's take a look at Vix Features, and I'm going to point something out here that gives me even a much more stronger conviction that we are possibly ready to reverse within overall markets. So let's expand this, and I'm going to show you guys something on. And let me get rid of this fib for a second. Really don't need it at this point. But so here is Vix Features. See, price action came just below the 50-day, just a tad, just very slightly. Oh, I want to get rid of it. So very slightly came below that 50-day, just a bit. But if you look at where it settled at, where it's attempting to settle at, right at a level of resistance. I'm sorry, right at the level of support for the right at the level of support. So this level right here is a level that's been showing a strong area of support. So we're like hovering right there. We're hovering right there at that strong level of support. And if I was to draw this straight across, you would also see other areas where that price action had to deal with. So we hit that area here and went higher, hit that area here and went higher. We're back here now, just hovering at that area. So do we go higher from here? We have to see. But as we broke that level of resistance on back in April on the VIX, we went up just a little bit more and came down and challenged that support. So once this area is broken, previous resistance becomes support. Normally, if you test it a couple of times, don't let it show that's a strong level of support. So we broke through that resistance level, came here, tested it here, went up, came back down, tested it again here, went up, came back down, and we had another test. So that tells me that this must be a strong level of support. So previous support, current support was previous resistance. So where did we test it on the side of resistance? We tested it here, tested it here, tested it here, almost tested it a little bit here. Then we came down and we went back up to a test and we broke right through it. And if you look at the other side, way at the end of my chart, barely see it, but I'll see if I can stretch that out. I had a little slight test here before price action decided to go higher. So that tells me that is a strong decision point for the VIX. That trend line that I drew, that's a strong decision point for the VIX. And that decision point has been intact for quite a bit, whether it's been a level of resistance or whether it's been a level of support. So that said, it looks like we are right back at support right now. So could the VIX bounce here? It could. It could definitely bounce here, and I think that's more likely than not. Another reason why I think it's more likely than not is that there's something else that I always like to pay attention to is either a long stretch of red or a long stretch of green. Because when you see a long stretch of green candles, there's normally a reversal bound to happen in the near future, especially when we're looking at the shorter term daily, hourly charts, 4-hour charts. And I like to, especially on the daily, I love to look at these long stretch of green or reds because they're telling me that there's a change possibly going to happen soon. We call it a long stretch of red going downward, call it a red stale light because so many reds in a row, eventually that move becomes stale, red stale light, and then we find some support, and then we find a way to rally. And it works the same on if you see a long stretch of green on a daily chart, eventually it becomes a green stale light, and price action tends to find a way to go the other way once you run so many stretches of red in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, and then we start to pretty much flatten out here, which tells me that this downward move is probably becoming exhausted, and price action on the VIX is looking for a move higher. So that is one thing that you got to look out for. And another thing you want to look out for is look at the full stochastics here. We're showing some overbought territory there, and also, oversold territory there, and oversold territory here in the Williams percentage. So that's another sign that we could be looking for higher prices very, very soon within the VIX. And one more thing we'll look at, or two more. We'll look at the at crude oil real quick. Actually, three. There's something that's happening within natural gas that we should point out. Crude oil remains extremely strong. Again, the ultimate goal, folks, I think the first goal, I think we are really looking for a test of this level of resistance here, that 129 level. And as you can see, we've been a nice steady uptrend in crude. nice steady uptrend, and I think we're going to end up challenging that 129 level. Now, if we break through that level, folks, crude has a has a strong possibility to challenge the level that we saw as far as highs back in 2008, folks, that 147 level. So if crude finds a way to break above that 129 that we pretty much reverse from there, it could be off to the races for another leg high in crude. So that's something we got to pay attention to. If I was to draw a trend line straight across before we even get to the level from these highs that were a challenge between 2011 to 2014, we are above that level, folks. Look at this. We are above that level. So that level is no longer in play. Well, it is in play for support. But we are pretty much have broken above this level slightly. Ever so slightly, we've broken above that level. So the next challenge again would be this 129 level right here that's peaking out. I'm sorry. So this 129 level. Price action showed you that we broke out above this level with this trend line I drew, and we came right back down. So we challenged it again here, and look what we're doing. We're coming right back above that trend line, folks. So the next level to be tested is probably at 129. And if we break through that, I mean, we'll probably race. I mean, it's a possibility we could race to 147, folks. So that's something to pay close attention to. If you have not dipped your toe into crude oil, or any of these energy stocks, it may not be too late. Let's look at crude. Let's take a look at natural gas. I mean, these natural gas, folks, has a strong potential. I do mean strong potential to continuous rally, maybe even rally up to, let's see, let me get rid of this fib first. So we can see natural gas, folks, is already broken out above that level. Now we're up here, like we are possibly attempting to test another level of resistance soon. So we got some resistance here. It looks like we have challenged. So there's some resistance there that's being challenged as we speak. We break above this level. So that level right now is around about 880 or so. If we break above that level, we can hit $10. It's a very possibility we can hit $10, which is that level that which we seen back in 2006. So 2006 got it to about a little bit over $10. And if we break that level, folks, we could possibly see this level up here, which was right around, let's see, where is that one at? That one is right around, looks right around about 1350. It's close to 1350. So folks, natural gas and crude oil, they have room to run to the upside. So it's not too late to get your toes wet with those particular. Oops, did not mean to do that. So again, It looks like crude oil and natural gas has some room to run to the upside. All right. Let me see. Oh, one last thing we'll take a look at while in this session. Take a quick look at gold. And again, folks, gold has just been in a battle. It's been in a battle. Like it's still attempting to hold on to a strong level of support. And I'm gonna switch this back to a daily chart real quick. Gold is still first searching for direction, but it's holding up, folks. Go ahead, it's making these little runs and pulling back. What's happening is we already see so much back and forth action, and gold is that it is challenging. It's been challenging this 50-day moving average, folks. Trying to decipher which way it wants to go. So it's been bumping its head up against this 50-day on a daily chart for quite a while, since May, since the beginning of almost the middle of May. We've been bumping up against this 50-day, which is the blue line here. And it's like price action has not been able to break above it, but it's been holding the lower trend line. See that? It's been holding this lower trend line quite a bit. So once once gold finds a way to break above this 50-day moving average, is very possible chance that it can start to head up to start to challenge some of these other highs. Challenge that level and possibly challenge this 2078 level. So that's something to look out and look forward to as far as gold. All right, folks. And I think that's all I have to offer you guys. Hopefully it's something you guys can use. And hopefully you guys can have a very, very successful week of trading. Again, I think markets are starting to bump their head up against some resistance. So we got to see what pans out. Right now, it is now 10:05 p.m. on June 5th. And right now, Dow Jones Futures is up about 30.31%, about a quarter of a percent, or 30%, or should I say just up a little bit over $100, a little bit over 100 points, but it's still being muted. It still has not found a way to rally big time above the 50-day or the upper trend line. So food for thought, something to keep an eye on as we approach the beginning of a new trading week. Till next video, folks, Tim Davis here, signing off. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great beginning of the trading week.